Sam Miller had always been small. At 5 feet 5 inches tall and only 130 pounds, people often looked past him. He spoke softly and rarely. He liked to stay in the background. While other kids played sports or joined debate clubs, Sam spent his time watching and learning. He noticed things that others missed by the time he turned 30. Sam was a respected scientist who studied alien biology. He wasn't famous or important. He just did his work well and without fuss. Then the aliens came. The first ship appeared above Earth in 2157. It was huge, nearly a mile long. People panicked. Governments prepared for war. But the aliens came in peace. They called themselves the Galactic Confederation, a group of 12 species who had been traveling the stars for thousands of years. The aliens were impressive. The Vrexians stood 9 feet tall with hard shells that could stop bullets. The Dorn looked like dinosaurs and could bend metal bars with their bare hands. Even the friendly Centaurians were 7 feet tall with 4 arms. Next to them, humans seemed small and weak. A minor species, the aliens called humans. Physically unimpressive. Technologically primitive. Earth's governments decided to send 50 people to the aliens' main space station. They chose their best: brave soldiers, smart politicians, and brilliant scientists. Sam was added to the list at the last minute because of his work on animal and plant biology. No one expected much from him. The space station was called Nexus. It orbited a distant star and was home to thousands of aliens from all over the galaxy. Sam had never seen anything so amazing. The station had its own weather, forests, and even small oceans. It was like a small world floating in space that the human team was given a small section of the station to live and work. The other humans quickly tried to make friends with the aliens. They showed off Earth music, art, and technology. Sam just watched and set up his small lab. General Krav was the leader of the Vrexians. He was huge, with 4 arms and a shell that shone like metal. When he looked at the humans, his eyes showed only boredom. "Humans," he said during the first meeting, his voice like rocks grinding together. "You are lucky we found you before the Scourge did. They would have eaten your planet for breakfast." The human captain, Jack Donovan, stood tall. "We're thankful for your welcome, General. Earth is ready to join the galactic community and prove our worth." Krav made a sound like laughter, but it wasn't friendly. "Prove your worth? What worth? You're small, weak, and know nothing of the galaxy. Perhaps you'll make good servants." The other aliens laughed. The humans tried not to show their anger. Sam just watched and remembered. Later, in their quarters, the humans talked about the meeting. "They think we're jokes," said Linda Ramirez, the team's military expert. "We need to show them humans aren't pushovers." "We need to be careful," said Jack. "We're new here. We don't want to start trouble." Sam said nothing. He just listened. The next day, Sam began his work. While the other humans tried to impress the aliens, Sam studied them. He collected hair, skin, and waste samples. He watched what they ate and how they moved. He studied the station's air and water systems. No one paid much attention to Sam. He was just the quiet little human who stayed in his lab. That was fine with Sam. He had always done his best work when no one was watching. 3 weeks after they arrived, Sam had his first real conversation with an alien. He was in the station's garden collecting plant samples when a Centaurian approached him. Centaurians looked like tall, thin humans with blue skin and 4 arms. This one wore the marks of a scientist. "You are the quiet one," the Centaurian said. His voice was musical, like wind chimes. "Always watching, never speaking." Sam nodded. "I'm Sam Miller." "I am Zex. I study biology, like you." The alien tilted his head. The others of your kind try so hard to impress us. But you just work." "I'm not very impressive," Sam said with a small smile. "Perhaps," Zek said, "or perhaps you are wise. In the Confederation, those who speak the loudest are not always the most respected." Sam just nodded and went back to his work. But he thought about what Zex had said. That night, Sam was working late in his lab when the station's alarms went off. Red lights flashed, and a voice spoke in several languages, including English. "Warning. Life support malfunction in Sector 7. All personnel. Evacuate immediately." Sector 7 was where the humans lived. Sam quickly saved his work and headed back to their quarters. When he arrived, he found chaos. The air was getting thin. People were grabbing emergency breathing masks and running. What happened? Sam asked Jack. "No idea," Jack said, helping an older scientist with her mask. "The system just failed. They say it will take hours to fix." Sam frowned. Life support systems didn't just fail. Not on a station like this. He slipped away from the group and found a computer terminal. Using the basic access he'd been given, he checked the station's logs. Someone had shut down the life support on purpose. It wasn't an accident. Sam went to find General Krav. The Vrexian was in the control room, surrounded by engineers. "Excuse me, General," Sam said quietly. Krav barely looked at him. "Not now, human. We have a situation." "The life support didn't fail by itself," Sam said, still speaking softly. "Someone turned it off." Now Krav looked at him. "What are you saying?" "I checked the logs. Someone with high-level access shut it down manually. They tried to hide it, but they didn't do a very good job." Krav's eyes narrowed. "How would you know this?" "You're just a biology researcher." Sam shrugged. "I notice things." Krav stared at him for a long moment, then turned to his security team. "Check what he's saying." 10 minutes later, they confirmed Sam was right. Someone had tried to scare the humans or worse. And if Sam hadn't noticed, it might have worked out. As the Vrexians rushed to find the culprit, Sam quietly went back to his lab. He didn't want thanks or attention. But as he left, he felt Krav watching him with new eyes. That night, as Sam worked in his lab, he thought about Earth, about humans, and about their place in this new, bigger universe. The aliens thought humans were weak because they were small. But Sam knew that in nature, the most dangerous creatures weren't always the biggest. Sometimes they were the ones no one noticed until it was too late. Sam smiled to himself and went back to work. He had a lot to learn about their new galactic neighbors. And they, it seemed, had a lot to learn about humans. Word spread quickly about the life support incident. No one said it out loud, but everyone knew someone had tried to scare away the humans. The aliens found the person responsible, a junior Dorn officer who disliked humans. He was punished. But many humans still felt unwelcome. Sam kept working in his lab. He collected more samples and ran more tests. He learned that Vrexians needed to shed their outer shells once every 60 days. During this time, they were weak and vulnerable. He learned that Centaurians could not stand certain smells. He learned that Dorns needed special minerals in their food, or they would get sick. Sam kept all this information in a private journal. He didn't tell anyone what he was learning. He just watched and worked. 3 months after the humans arrived at Nexus Station, General Krav made an announcement. "The Confederation Council has decided to test our new human friends," he said during a station-wide broadcast. "Tomorrow, we will hold the traditional trials of worth. Each species will send their best to compete." The human team met to discuss this news. "What are these trials?" Linda asked. Jack frowned. "They didn't tell us about any trials. This feels like a trap." An older diplomat named Bill sighed. It doesn't matter. We have to do it. If we refuse, we'll look weak. I'll compete, said Frank, the biggest and strongest human on the team. He was a former soldier who stood 6 feet 4 inches tall. I can handle whatever they throw at us. No one suggested Sam. He was too small, too quiet. He just listened from the corner of the room. The next day, the entire station gathered in a huge arena. Each species sent one competitor. The Vrexian was tall and strong. The Dorn looked like he could lift a car. The Centaurian was thin, but moved like water. Frank, the human champion, looked small next to them. General Krav explained the trials. There will be 3 tests: strength, speed, and endurance. The winner brings honor to their species. The first test was strength. Competitors had to lift heavy weights. The Dorn won easily, lifting twice what anyone else could. Frank did his best, but came in last. The second test was speed. Competitors had to run through an obstacle course. The Centaurian won, moving gracefully through the challenges. Frank came in last again, tripping several times. The aliens laughed at the human. Sam watched from the sidelines, his face showing nothing. Final test: endurance, announced Krav. Competitors will stand on the gravity platform. We will increase the gravity until only one remains standing. The competitors took their places on a round platform. Frank looked tired already. A Vrexian technician pressed buttons on a control panel, and Sam saw Frank's body get heavy as the gravity increased. By one, the aliens dropped out as the gravity became too strong. Soon, only the Vrexian champion and Frank remained. Frank was sweating, his legs shaking. At 5 times Earth's normal gravity, he fell to his knees. The human fails, shouted Krav. The aliens cheered and laughed. Frank tried to stand up, but couldn't. His face was red with shame and effort. The human team looked down, embarrassed. Is there no human who can even stand in real gravity? Mocked Krav. The arena went quiet as a small figure walked onto the platform. It was Sam. What is this? Krav laughed. The runt comes to try where your champion has failed? Sam said nothing. He helped Frank off the platform and took his place. He wore his regular clothes, no special gear or preparation. He just stood there, hands at his sides, face calm. Begin, said Krav to the technician. The gravity increased to 3 times Earth normal. Sam stood still. It increased to 5 times. Sam remained standing. The aliens stopped laughing. Higher, ordered Krav. 7 times Earth's gravity pushed. Down on Sam. His clothes looked heavy, but he didn't bend. Everyone watched in silence. Sweat formed on Sam's forehead, but he kept his breathing steady. Impossible, whispered a Centaurian near the front. Higher! Krav shouted. 9 times normal gravity, a crushing weight that would kill most humans. Sam's legs trembled slightly, but he stayed upright. Then, slowly, he took 1 step forward. Just one. He looked up at Krav, their eyes meeting across the arena. For the first time, Krav looked uncertain. Enough, the general said finally. The trial is complete. As the gravity returned to normal, Sam walked calmly off the platform. The humans rushed to him, asking how he did it. Even the aliens looked at him with new eyes. How? Jack asked him. Later in the human quarters. Frank is twice your size, and he couldn't do it. Sam shrugged. I grew up on Neptune's mining colony. The gravity systems there were always breaking. Sometimes gravity would spike to 10 times normal for hours. You either adapted or you died. Why didn't you tell us? Linda asked. No one asked. Sam said simply. The next day, Sam went back to his lab like nothing had happened. But things had changed. Aliens moved out of his way in the corridors. They watched him when they thought he wasn't looking. A week after the trials, Zex the Centaurian visited Sam's lab. You surprised everyone, Zex said. especially Krav. I just stood there, Sam said, not looking up from his work. No, Sam Miller. You did more than stand. You showed that humans cannot be judged by their size. Zex paused. The Vrexians respect strength. You have earned their attention. Sam nodded, but said nothing. Be careful, Zex added. Attention is not always a good thing in the Confederation. After Zex left, Sam opened his private journal and added new notes. The Vrexians had looked shocked when he withstood the high gravity. It was a weakness. They assumed other species were as limited as they thought. That was useful information. 2 days later, Sam received a message on his computer. It was from General Krav, inviting him to a private meeting with the Confederation. Council. No other humans were invited. Sam closed his journal and stood up. He straightened his simple clothes and took a deep breath. Then he walked out of his lab toward the council chambers, still the smallest person on the station, but no longer overlooked. Behind him, his computer screen showed a new file he had been working on. Its title read, Physiological Weaknesses of Confederation Species. It contained more information than anyone would have believed the quiet human could have gathered in just 3 months. Sam had always been good at watching and learning. And now, finally, they were watching him too. Sam walked to the Confederation Council meeting alone. The halls of Nexus Station seemed different now. Aliens still towered over him, but they moved aside as he passed. Some nodded respectfully. Others watched with careful eyes. The council chamber was huge. A round table sat in the center with 12 large chairs for the representatives of each major species. Sam noticed there was no chair for humans. He was expected to stand. General Krav entered with 4 other aliens. One was Zex, the Centaurian. The others Sam recognized as leaders of the Dorn and 2 other species. Sam Miller, Krav said, his voice echoing in the large room. You have surprised us. Sam said nothing. He just waited. No human has ever withstood 9 times standard gravity. Krav continued. How did you do this? I told you. I grew up on Neptune's mining colony, Sam said quietly. We had to adapt. Are all humans from this colony so strong? Asked the Dorn representative. No, Sam said. Most died. The aliens looked at each other. Sam could see they were reconsidering what they knew about humans. We have been watching. You, Sam Miller, said Krav. You spend all your time in your laboratory. What exactly are you studying? Sam knew he had to be careful. I study biology. I want to understand how different species adapt to space. And what have you learned about us? Zex asked. Sam shrugged. You're all different. Each species has strengths and weaknesses. Weaknesses? Krav's voice became sharp. What weaknesses have you observed in the Vrexians? Sam looked directly at Krav. Your shell is very strong. But every 60 days, you must shed it. For 6 hours, you are vulnerable. The room went silent. This was not public knowledge. The Vrexians kept their molting process secret. How did you know this? Krav demanded. I pay attention, Sam said. Simply. The Dorn representative leaned forward. And what have you noticed about Dorns? Sam hesitated, then decided to be honest. You need the mineral vanadium in your diet. Without it, your strength fades within days. The Dorn's eyes widened. Another secret revealed. Zex tilted his head. And Centaurians? Your nervous system is sensitive to high-pitched sounds. Frequencies above 20,000 hertz cause you pain that other species can't hear. One by one, Sam told each council member something about their species that was supposed to be secret. He spoke without pride or threat. He just stated facts. When he finished, the room was completely silent. Finally, Krav spoke. You have been busy, little human. I'm just doing my job, Sam said. No, said Zex. You have been gathering information. Information that could be useful Sam understood the unspoken. Question. I haven't shared what I've learned with anyone. Not even other humans. Why not? Asked the Dorn. Because information is valuable, Sam said. And I don't waste valuable things. Krav stood up. He was huge, towering over Sam. Some might see your actions as a threat. Sam didn't back away. I'm just a scientist doing research. A scientist who knows too much? Krav growled. Sam looked up at the giant alien. Knowledge isn't a threat unless someone makes it one. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then Zex laughed, a musical sound like bells. He is right, my friends, the Centaurian said. This small human has simply observed what we all know about each other, or pretend not to. Perhaps instead of being angry, we should be impressed. The tension in the room eased slightly. Krav sat back down. The question remains, said the Dorn. What do you want, Sam Miller? Sam thought for a moment. Humans want to be treated as equals in the Confederation, not as servants or children. Based on what? Krav asked. Your technology is primitive. Your ships are slow. Your weapons are weak. But we learn quickly, Sam said, and we notice things. The council members looked at each other. Sam could see they were communicating silently, probably through some technology he couldn't detect. Finally, Krav spoke again. Very well. The human delegation will be given more access to Confederation knowledge. But you, Sam Miller, will agree to share your research with the council. Sam nodded. That seems fair. One more thing, Krav added. You will work directly with me 3 days each week. I want to understand how your mind works. Sam hid his surprise. This was unexpected. Working with the Vrexian general would give him even more access to information. Agreed, Sam said. The meeting ended, and Sam returned to his lab. When he got there, he found Jack and Linda waiting for him. What happened? Jack asked. Why did the council want to see you? Sam shrugged. They had questions about my research. And? Linda pressed. And humans are going to get more access to Confederation technology, Sam said, sitting down at a computer. Jack's eyes widened. How did you manage that? Sam started typing. I just told them the truth. Later that night, after the others had left, Sam updated his journal with everything he had learned at the meeting. The council members had revealed more than they realized. Their reactions to his knowledge showed him exactly what information each species considered most sensitive. The next morning, Sam started his new routine. 3 days a week, he would work in General Krab's private laboratory. The other days, he continued his own research. The first day with Krav was tense. The Vrexian watched Sam's every move. Why did you agree to work with me? Sam asked as they analyzed tissue samples. Krav's mandibles clicked. Keep your friends close and your enemies closer. Isn't that a human saying? Am I your enemy? Sam asked. I haven't decided yet, Krav said. But you are dangerous. Sam looked up at the 9-foot alien warrior with his armored shell and powerful limbs. Me? I'm the smallest human on the station. Size isn't everything, Sam Miller. You see what others miss. You know what you should not know. Knowledge is the most dangerous weapon in the galaxy. Sam nodded slowly. Is that why the Confederation keeps so many secrets? Krav turned to face him fully. The galaxy is not a safe place. There are threats you cannot imagine. Tell me, Sam said. Krav hesitated, then seemed to make a decision. He activated a secure computer terminal. There is a reason we found your planet when we did, the general said, bringing up an image of a strange ship. It was black and spiky, unlike any design Sam had seen before. 3 years ago, this ship was detected near your solar system. It belongs to the Scourge. Who are they? Sam asked. Krab's voice became grim. The reason the Confederation exists. The reason we all put aside our differences and work together. He paused. "The reason your species needs to learn quickly, Sam Miller." Sam studied the image, memorizing every detail. "Tell me everything," he said quietly. And for the first time, Krav began to share the Confederation's greatest secrets with the smallest human on the station. Over the next month, Sam learned all about the Scourge. They were not just one alien species, but many who had joined together. They moved through the galaxy like locusts, taking all resources from planets and leaving nothing behind. They had destroyed hundreds of worlds and killed billions of people. The Confederation had been fighting them for over a century. "Why didn't you tell us this when you first came to Earth?" Sam asked Krav during one of their work sessions. "We did not want to cause panic," Krav said. "Many species react badly to such news. Humans deserve to know the truth," Sam said. "We need to prepare." Krav's mandibles clicked thoughtfully. "Perhaps you are right, but the Council decided to wait." Sam continued working with Krav while also spending time in his own lab. The other humans noticed the change in how aliens treated Sam, but he never explained why. He just kept working and watching. One night, Sam was alone in his lab when the station alarms went off again. This time, the message was different. Warning: unknown ships approaching. All personnel to emergency stations. Sam quickly saved his work and headed to the Central Command Center. He wasn't supposed to go there, but with all the confusion, no one stopped him. Inside, he found chaos. Screens showed 3 black, spiky ships, Scourge ships heading toward the station. Krav was shouting orders. "Raise shields. Prepare defense systems. They're jamming our communications," a Centaurian officer reported. "We can't call for help." "How did they find us?" someone asked. "It doesn't matter," Krav growled. "Prepare for battle." Sam watched from the back of the room. He saw fear on every alien face, even Krav's. These mighty beings who had looked down on humans were scared. The first Scourge ship fired. The station shook. Lights flickered. "Shields at 80%, an officer reported. Sam slipped out of the command center. He had an idea, but he needed to get to his lab. As he hurried through the corridors, other people ran in the opposite direction, heading for safety. The station shook again as more weapons hit it. In his lab, Sam opened a secure computer file. For weeks, he had been studying the station's systems, not just life support, but everything. He had found ways into systems he wasn't supposed to access. Now he used those back doors. First, he accessed the communication system. The Scourge were blocking normal channels, but Sam had discovered an old emergency system that used different frequencies. He sent out a distress call with the station's exact location. Next, he looked at the station's defenses. The shields were strong, but they wouldn't hold forever. Sam found a way to redirect power from non-essential systems to strengthen the shields. Finally, he accessed the sensor array. The Scourge ships were powerful, but not invincible. Sam studied their movement patterns, looking for weaknesses. The station shook more violently. A warning message appeared on Sam's screen. "Hull breach in Sector 12. Emergency doors activated." Sam worked faster. He noticed something about the Scourge ships. They moved in a regular pattern. If the pattern held, he could predict where they would be. He accessed the station's weapon systems. This was risky. If anyone discovered what he was doing, he could be arrested or worse. But people were dying. He had to try. Sam calculated where the lead Scourge ship would be in 30 seconds. Then he programmed the station's main weapon to fire at that exact spot. He hit the execute button and held his breath. On his screen, he watched the station's largest weapon power up and fire. The energy beam shot out into space, seemingly at nothing. But 3 seconds later, the lead Scourge ship moved right into its path. The ship exploded in a ball of fire. In the command center, Krav stared at the screen in shock. How did that happen? Who fired that shot? Before anyone could answer, the station's communication system came back online. A voice spoke. "Nexus Station. This is Confederation Battle Cruiser Relentless. We received your distress call and are moving to engage." On the screen, 5 large Confederation warships appeared. The remaining Scourge ships turned and fled. "Who sent the distress call?" Krav demanded. "Our communications were jammed." A Vrexian officer checked the logs. "Sir, someone used the old emergency backup system. It operates on frequencies the Scourge weren't blocking." "And who fired that perfect shot at the enemy ship?" Another officer looked at the weapons log. The firing command came from Laboratory 7, sir. Laboratory 7? Krav's eyes narrowed. "That's Sam Miller's lab." The battle was over quickly once the Confederation ships arrived. The Scourge had been driven away. 16 people on the station had died, and many sections were damaged. But it could have been much worse. Krav personally went to find Sam. The small human was still in his lab, helping treat injured people who had been nearby when the attack happened. "Sam Miller," Krav said, his voice serious. "You have some explaining to do." Sam looked up calmly. "I just did what needed to be done. You accessed restricted systems. You fired a station weapon without authorization. These are serious offenses." Krav paused. "You also saved the station and everyone on it." Sam said nothing. He just waited. "How did you know where the Scourge ship would be?" Krav asked. "I watched their movement pattern. They were being predictable. It was a simple calculation." Krav shook his head. "Nothing about you is simple, Sam Miller." Later, the Confederation Council held an emergency meeting. Sam was called to attend. This time, there was a chair for him at the table. "The Scourge attacked us because of Earth," Zex explained. "We have learned they detected our first contact with your planet. They were coming to destroy you, but found us instead. Then we need to protect Earth," Sam said. "We will," Krav promised. "But we also need to prepare humanity for what's coming. The Scourge will try again." "What do you suggest?" Sam asked. "We will share more technology with Earth," Zex said. "But we also need humans to join our fight. We need more people like you, Sam Miller. People who notice things." Sam asked, with a small smile. "People who act when action is needed," Krav said. "Today you broke rules to save lives. That is the kind of thinking we need." The Council voted unanimously to offer humanity full membership in the Confederation, years ahead of schedule. Earth would get advanced technology and protection. In return, humans would join the fight against the Scourge. Sam was asked to be the first human representative on the Council. He accepted with a simple nod. As the meeting ended, Krav pulled Sam aside. "When I first met you, I thought humans were weak. I was wrong." "Size isn't everything," Sam said, repeating Krav's own words back to him. "Indeed," the giant alien agreed. "Sometimes the most dangerous person in the room is the quiet one watching from the corner." Sam smiled. The smallest human on the station was now one of its most important people. And soon, the Scourge would learn what Krav already knew: humans should not be underestimated. 6 months passed since the Scourge attack. Nexus Station had been repaired, and many things had changed. 50 more humans had arrived from Earth to join the first group. They included soldiers, scientists, and engineers. Earth was building new ships with Confederation technology. Humans were preparing for war against the Scourge. Sam sat in the council chamber, listening to the representatives discuss defense plans. As the human counselor, he had the same voting power as the others. Next to giants like Krav, he still looked tiny, but no one treated him that way anymore. After the meeting, Sam walked with Zex through the station gardens. "You have been quiet today, Sam," the Centaurian said. "I've been thinking," Sam replied. The Scourge attack wasn't random. They knew exactly when to hit us and how to jam our communications. Zex stopped walking. What are you suggesting? I think someone on the station helped them, Sam said quietly. Someone gave them information. Zex's 4 hands moved nervously. That is a serious accusation. Do you have proof? Not yet, Sam admitted, but I will find it. Sam returned to his lab. It was much bigger now, with 5 human assistants helping him. They were studying Scourge technology from the destroyed ship. Sam excused himself and went to a private room in the back. There, he accessed his secure computer. For weeks, he had been reviewing station logs from the day of the attack. He was looking for anything unusual. Today, he was checking personnel movements. Who had been in strange places? Who had accessed systems they shouldn't have? After hours of work, Sam found something. One person had accessed the communication system minutes before it was jammed. That same person had been in 3 different restricted areas that day. The name in the log was Mrel. Adorn Technician. Sam didn't tell anyone what he had found. He needed more proof. He began watching Mrel, tracking the Dorn's movements and activities. He discovered that Mrel often worked alone late at night in communication control. He also regularly visited a rarely used storage area. One night, Sam followed Mrel to the storage area. He waited until the Dorn went inside and quietly approached the door. He could hear Mrel talking to someone. Sam used a small device he had built to record the conversation. The new human ships will be ready in 3 months, Mrel was saying. They are building them on Mars, away from Earth. A voice responded not in person, but through some kind of communicator. It spoke in a harsh, clicking language Sam had never heard before. It could only be the Scourge. Sam had his proof. He sent a coded message to Krav and waited. 20 minutes later, Krav arrived with 10 armed guards. They burst into the storage room and arrested Mrel. The Dorn fought, stronger than anyone expected, but the guards managed to subdue him. How did you know? Krav asked Sam afterward. The log showed he accessed communication systems right before they were jammed, Sam explained. And he visited restricted areas with no good reason. I just watched and waited. Krav nodded. You continue to impress me, Sam Miller. The next day, the council held an emergency session. Mrel was brought in, still restrained. You betrayed the Confederation, Zex said. You helped the Scourge attack us. Why? Mrel glared at them all. The Scourge are the future. They are stronger than any of you. They promised to spare my people when they take over the galaxy. And you believed them? Sam asked quietly. Mr. L turned to Sam, hatred in his eyes. The human, always watching, always interfering. The Scourge told me to beware of you. They said you were dangerous. Sam raised an eyebrow. Me? I'm just a scientist. No, Mrel spat. You see too much. The Scourge fear that. They fear humans. The council members looked at each other in surprise. The mighty Scourge, afraid of humans? What else did they tell you about humans? Krav asked. They said humans adapt too quickly. They learn too fast. They notice patterns that other species miss. Mrel looked at Sam with disgust. They said humans are unpredictable and dangerous, especially the quiet ones. The council sentenced Mrel to life imprisonment. The Dorn would spend the rest of his days in a secure facility, far from any technology he could use to contact the Scourge. After the traitor was taken away, the council discussed what they had learned. If the Scourge truly fear humans, we should use that, said a Vrexian counselor. We should send more humans to our battle fleets, suggested another. Sam listened to them all, thinking. Finally, he spoke. The Scourge don't fear all humans. They fear what some of us can do: notice patterns, adapt quickly, see weaknesses. Like you, said ZEX. Sam nodded. We should create a special group. Humans who can think like I do, working with the best minds from all Confederation species. A team dedicated to finding the Scourge's weaknesses. Crab's mandibles clicked excitedly. Yes, a special intelligence unit. Not soldiers, but watchers and thinkers. The council approved the plan immediately. Sam would lead this new group, called the Observer Corps. They would work in the shadows, studying the enemy and finding ways to defeat them. 1 year after Sam first arrived on Nexus Station, the Observer Corps was fully operational. 100 humans worked alongside aliens from every Confederation species. They had already discovered 3 critical weaknesses in Scourge technology and developed countermeasures. Sam walked through the Corps' headquarters, watching everyone work. He still wore simple clothes. He still spoke softly. But now, when he entered a room, everyone, human and alien alike, stopped to listen. Krav joined him on his walk. The Scourge have attacked 3 systems in the past month, the general said. But each time, they were driven back. Your Corps has changed the course of this war. We've only just begun, Sam said. As they passed through the main control room, a new alien delegation arrived. They were Proxians, a species considering joining the Confederation. They were huge, nearly 10 feet tall, with 4 arms and tough. Skin that looked like rock. Their leader, Commander Zool, looked around the room with obvious disdain. His eyes passed over Sam without stopping. This is your famous Observer Corps? Zool said to Krav. I see no great warriors here. Just technicians, and is that a human? Sam said nothing. He just watched. This is Sam Miller, Krav said. He is the commander of the Observer Corps and a member of the Confederation Council. Zool laughed, a rumbling sound like falling stones. This small creature? What could he possibly do in a war against the Scourge? Before Krav could answer, an alarm sounded. A technician called out, Scourge ships detected near Proxian home. System. Zool's face showed fear for the first time. Impossible. How did they find us? Sam stepped forward. Commander Zool, I'd be happy to discuss how my small team will save your planet. Please follow me to the strategy room. As Sam led the way, Krav heard a Proxian officer whisper to another, Who is this human? Krav smiled, his mandibles spreading wide. He is Sam Miller, the quietest, smallest human there is, and the one no alien dares to cross. Remember his name. The Scourge certainly do. Sam didn't hear this. He was already working, his quick mind finding patterns, seeing weaknesses, planning how to defeat the enemy, just as he had always done.